right. So here we go. No, please. All right, let's turn to page 23.
6 lines from the bottom.
Yes, it is. It's 6 lines from the bottom of the Hebrew. These words, Mikolot Ma'im Rabim. It's kind of a lively start. All right. Mikolot Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishpereya Mikolot Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishpereya Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishpereya Mikolot Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishpereya Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is good to be here with you. It seems like a fitting few words about the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breakers of the sea. It's been a wet week. Feels appropriate. And it's a week in which we celebrate the trees. Yesterday, in fact, was Tu B'Shvat, which is really just a number more than a name. It's the 15th of the month of Shvat, which is known as the birthday for the trees, a day on which we celebrate. It's sort of like the tax day for the trees, right? It's when we celebrate one more year in the life of a fruit tree. But trees really play an important role in Jewish tradition. And as we celebrate Tu B'Shvat this week, I've been thinking a little bit about all those different symbols that we have in Jewish tradition around a tree, right? A tree of life, to them that hold fast to it. Our Torah is understood as the tree of life. And I've been thinking about this story from Avot de Rabbi Natan, a collection of rabbinic writings, where Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai teaches that if you have a sapling in your hand and someone should say to you that the Messiah has arrived, has come, you have to stay and complete the planting and then go greet the Messiah. And I think what's at the essence of this idea is that a tree is also not only the idea of a tree of life, but a tree is also a symbol of hope, of an investment in the future that we make in this generation for that which comes before us. So lots of different tree themes and tree things to think about tonight. We've got a special little Tu B'Shvat, a special Tu B'Shvat oneg that we've put together for you after our service as well, a chance to taste the different fruits of Tu B'Shvat. I don't know if there are many colors of wine or not, but we're going to hope so. But we also recognize that everybody here tonight is here perhaps for a different reason. And so in particular, we want to extend words of comfort and greeting to our mourners in our midst with the words, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem, B'toch Sha'ar Avelei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you and all those who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem. We will continue our service on the theme of beautiful, strong trees with Tzadik Katamar. It's the indented paragraph right on the facing page, page 22. that the righteous bloom like a date palm and thrive like a cedar in Lebanon.
So we studied yesterday a little bit about this passage from Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat, and we talked about from the Baal Shem Tov, a beautiful teaching about trees that says that, you could be a tzaddik in two different kinds of ways. One is to stand really tall and reach to be a righteous person, to reach for the heights, to really get into your studies in a deep way for yourself. But then you have the tzaddik that's like a flexible palm tree that bears fruit. That kind of tzaddik, that kind of righteous one, is one who brings along a lot of people, bears fruit, and brings along a lot of disciples. But both of them together form this beautiful upright tree. So Tzaddik HaTamar, this is by Louis Lewandowski. We're going to sing it together. Tzaddik HaTamar yifrach ke'erez balmanon yizkeh shetulim bebeit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Od yenun b'seva v'shenim v'rananim yiyu lehagim ki yashar Adonai tzuri tzuri velo avlatamo.
So we've got our trees providing some metaphorical shade all around us, and so we'll continue with candle lighting as we bring some actual and metaphorical light into our midst. As we kindle our Shabbat lights on page 2, I want to call up Jerry and Sandy Spector to help lead us in candle lighting and Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Kiddush is on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav banu v'shabbat kodsho B'ahav v'ratzon himchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'beratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Nicely done. Let us continue. We will welcome Shabbat into our midst. We'll sing Lecha Dodi on page 20, singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, rising to face the entrance as we reach verse 9 and bring Shabbat into our midst.
shalom. Ateret bala, gam besimcha, u'letzorah, b'toch emunei, am segula, bo'michala, bo'michala. Oh, yai, lai, lai, ya la 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 la, lechatani, yai, lai, la, ya la la la, likrat kala, yai, lai, la, ya la la, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Ya la 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 la, lechatani, yai, lai, la, ya la 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 la, likrat kala, yai, lai, la, ya la 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 la, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela.
Page 26.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, amen. Be'alema divrach yirutei v'yamlich malachutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'chayet l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman ha'kariv, v'imeru 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 v'imeru, amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'le'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitrumam, v'yitnaseh v'yitadar, v'yitale v'yitalal, shemei 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 dekudesha dekudesha berichu, leila mincho birchata birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amira be'alma ve'imeru, amen, amen.
We turn to page 28 as we prepare for service and for prayer, and we prepare to have a conversation with God. Baruch Hu.
Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, ya, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, ya, lai, 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 lai. Ya, lai, lai.
So some of us are celebrating Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to you. And I had a question in mind: what does love got to do with trees? And I think today I will maybe move us towards a different kind of love of trees, which is the love of Torah. The Torah is the tree of life. And we celebrate Ahavat Olam, which is a prayer that we sing, which says that God loves us unendingly. God's love is everlasting. And the way that God has shown us that love is by giving us the Torah. And the Torah has sustained us over centuries. We have, 2,000 years ago, the rabbi sat and studied Torah for a really long time. And we not only study Torah, we are invited and encouraged to live Torah, to live a life of justice, to help each other, and to spread that love that we are spreading today to each other. So we sing together Ahavat Olam on page 32. Delighted to invite up Ari Engelman to lead us in the Shema, and thereafter Ari is becoming Bal Mitzvah next week. Please lead us.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shem kevod malchuto le'olam. Please be seated. Here we go.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך ובכל מעשיך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים Asher Anohi Mitzaveha Hayom Alevaveha Veshinantam Levaneha Vidibatabam Beshivteha Beviteha Uvechteha Vaderech Ushopeha Uvkumeha Ukshartam Leot Aliadeha Behayu Letotafot Beineneha Uktavtam Amezuzo Beiteha Uvishareha Laman Tiskeru Vasitem Ekum Mitzvotai Vitem Kedoshim Elohem Ani Adonai Elohem Asher Hotzeiti Ethem Meretz Mitzrayim Liot Lahem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohem Adonai Elohem Amen.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory, my earth reveal justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages time and again, we have overcome oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when nations will be at one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Micha Mocha on page 40.
Adonai et Yaakov, ug'alom yad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. We turn to Hashkivenu on page 42 and 43. Still sitting with this. The Torah is love. Tree of life is Torah. So trees equal love equals Valentine's Day. Thank you. That's beautiful. I love that. We're going to sing Let There Be Love. I hope everybody felt a lot of love and were able to open their hearts today in love for those around them. So let's sing together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Ve'hamidenu, Shomeinu Lekayim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat Shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Rise in body and spirit for the Amidah on page 46.
Ya la la ila ila, 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 ya la la ila ila. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid teilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Ya la la ila ila, 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 ya la la ila ila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham v'Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, Vezocher Chaste Avot Mimahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
In Pirkei Avot, we learn that people can be like trees. Or maybe certain trees can be like certain people, that we can learn a lot from trees about how to be good people. And this particular Mishnah talks about a certain kind of tree. It says, Kol shema'asav merubin mechachmoto lemahu domeh. All of those whose good deeds are greater than their wisdom, their book knowledge, to what is that person compared to? That person is compared to the best kind of tree. This is a tree that maybe its branches are few, but its roots are many and deep and And so when all the winds blow against this tree, it will stand tall. But if you're the kind of tree that only considers book learning, so you have lots of branches on your leaves, but your roots are very short, when those same winds blow, that tree is knocked over, and so is that person who doesn't really dig into the learning and use it. So this is a beautiful song called Shir Ilan, Song of the Tree, from the words of Pirkei Avot. Aval kol shema'asav merubin mechochmato Thank you.
In honor of Tu B'Shvat, I'll start with trees. Feels appropriate. One of, if not the largest living organism on Earth is a stand of trembling aspen trees in Fishland National Forest in Utah. Though they might not be the tallest trees, they're not like our giant sequoias or our redwoods here in California, but though they appear to be multiple individual aspen trees, scientists determined that each of these trees are, in fact, just stems of the same root system. And in fact, their roots are many, but their branches are few, if any, I guess. So these trees are, in fact, just stems of the same root system, which spans more than 106 acres. These 47,000 genetically identical stems are understood to actually be part of one enormous living organism. The root system, estimated to be around 9,000 years old, is responsible for coordinating energy production, defense, and regeneration across the tree's landmass. Pando, as it's known, is an incredible example of one massive, genetically identical, homogeneous community, each stem essentially the same, all working together in perfect harmony. This is perhaps a stark contrast to our human communities. Even in communities that might appear homogeneous in some way, perhaps based on some single characteristic they might share in common, There are myriad ways in which we differ from one another. I would argue that while the strength of the trees in Pando is their homogeneity, their sameness, the strength of our human communities are our differences and our diversity. And among our human communities, there are fewer and fewer spaces in which people are willing to put up with or tolerate disagreement. Indeed, the synagogue is one of the increasingly rare spaces in which we are voluntarily in relationship with those with whom we may disagree. How then do we build communities in which everyone feels a sense of belonging, of being an important, valued member of our community, given our ideological differences? Our strength comes from our diversity of experiences and perspectives. At Beth Am, our members reflect the beautiful diversity of the human experience. Different cultures, backgrounds, ethnicities, sexual orientations, gender identities, single people, married people, divorced and widowed people, families in which everyone is Jewish, families with diverse religious practices, East Coasters, West Coasters, Midwesterners. In the midst of one of the most polarized political climates we've seen in generations, here at Beth Am, we have wide-ranging and sometimes conflicting views on Israel, on American politics, on our understanding of God, if we even believe in God, on how we do or don't practice Judaism, on where to find the best bagels or pizza. With all of these different experiences and perspectives, how do we build a community in which we are able to find a way forward together? First, we need to recognize what we have in common. What are our shared values as a community, inspired by the lessons of our tradition? In this moment in which the echo chambers on our social media feeds and chosen news platforms, there is actually something quite countercultural in our Jewish tradition, in which argumentation and debate and disagreement are hardwired into our very fabric. The rabbis of antiquity referred to this concept of sacred disagreement as machlochet l'shem shamayim, argument for the sake of heaven. We read in Pirkei Avot, our collection of ethical teachings, any argument which is for the sake of heaven, its end will endure. But one that is not for the sake of heaven, its end will not endure. What is an argument for the sake of heaven, asked the rabbis? The arguments of Hillel and Shammai. And one that is not for the sake of heaven, the arguments of Korach and his company. According to tradition, the arguments of Hillel and Shammai were around big fundamental questions about things like practice and interpretation of Jewish law. One of the most famous stories is of someone who approaches the schools of Hillel and Shammai, who may or may not have been a serious student, but who came up with a challenge for each of the rabbis to explain the whole Torah while standing on one foot. Shammai rebukes the man, telling him that the task is impossible and sends him on his way. As a strict interpreter of Jewish law and a literalist, Shammai could not imagine fulfilling this man's ridiculous request. But Hillel welcomes him in and explains, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. The rest is commentary. Now go and study. Hillel, in his characteristically inclusive and flexible approach, offers the man a taste of the Torah's essence and values, and then offers an invitation. Now go and begin to really study. This tidbit is just the beginning. In story after story, the two schools tend to be at opposite ends of the spectrum of interpretation, but what they're both trying to get to is a deeper understanding of truth itself. What is problematic is not debate itself, but debate that does not attempt to reveal the truth, and especially God's truth. Debate that is only self-serving, or an uprising like Korach's, which really was only about furthering Korach, is an attempt to be victorious over the other side, is considered to be baseless and unproductive. The debate that is for the sake of heaven, which stems from a desire to seek the truth, will endure. At its core, argumentation is a feature, not a bug, of our Jewish ethical system. One of our best examples of creating this kind of space is our Israel discussion group, which happens just before services every Friday night. Led by the calm, caring presence of Uriela Ben Yaakov, this group has been meeting since just after October 7th, 2023, and has been a unique space in which people with many disparate and differing views on Israel come together each week to share, to reflect, to mourn, and to simply be together. Though they might have opposing views on how the Israel-Gaza war is being waged or the political choices being made, they all have a core abiding care and concern for Israel, for her people, and for the need for an enduring peace. And in the process, they have built a beautiful and loving community within our community as well. We also need to establish ground rules for how we disagree and argue. In our Torah portion this week, Yitro, we find the 10 Commandments, known in Hebrew as the Aseret HaDibrot, literally the 10 utterances. These 10 principles offer guidance and ground rules that shaped how the Israelites and even our societies and communities today relate to and engage with each other in a complex, diverse society, for treating each other with respect, care, and dignity. Here at Beth Am, our mission provides some basic ground rules for the values of our community. We strive to live as a holy community whose study and practice of Judaism inspires and challenges us to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with our God, in the words of Micah. We learn and engage deeply with our tradition. We recognize and acknowledge the limitations of our knowledge and our assumptions, and we work diligently to make our world a better place. Animated by our core values, core Jewish values of respect, of recognizing the divine spark within every human being, of caring for each person as an individual, and for holding and lifting up the most vulnerable in our society. The Torah speaks of the widow, the orphan, the stranger, the laborer, and those with disabilities. Debates about how best to care for and support each other and our neighbors should animate how we approach our sacred disagreements. We also must recognize in our Beth Am community, we are committed to our relationships with each other, to see each other and be seen, to know each other and be known by others. I'd like to propose a few ground rules as we move forward together in these challenging times. First, we must resist the binary, the urge to see things as black and white, as either or as a zero-sum game. We must look for the nuance in every situation. Next, we need to commit to assuming the best of intentions in each other. When we are in deep relationship with each other, when we are invested in each other's well-being, then we can weather the disagreements and tensions that are bound to arise in the life of our community. And third, though certainly not the last of what we need, we need to lean into curiosity. In the words of the great sage Ted Lasso, be curious, not judgmental. As the rabbis understood of a machlochet l'shem shamayim, a sacred disagreement is one in which no one is more committed to being right than to seeking truth and understanding. There's an organization that focuses on bringing people who disagree together to establish pathways for open and honest communication. It's called Resetting the Table, who suggests that we need to pursue perspectives we don't yet understand. In their guidelines for difficult conversations, they suggest, ask yourself, who is and isn't informing my thinking? What can I read? Who can I talk to? Remember, we can still fight to address our concerns, knowing understanding is not agreement. As Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, reminds Moses at the beginning of our parsha, the task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Though Jethro is talking about delegating leadership, there's a lesson for us here as well. Just like the many stems of the trembling aspen, we need each other to thrive. Nearly 2 millennia ago, our sages created a blessing for diversity when we are in the presence of a diverse community. Baruch ha'chacham hara'azim she'ein da'atam doma zeh lazeh ve'ein partufehen domim zeh lazeh. Blessed are you, the sage of all secret things, for their minds are not similar to each other, and their faces are all unique. We humans are not meant to be alone. And each time we show up in this place, we are creating our community in all of its beautiful, messy diversity. Shabbat Shalom.
We turn now in the midst of celebration of Shabbat on Tu B'Shvat, and to think of those who are amidst us who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit, and together pray for their well-being and for their peace and for their recovery. And as a community, we're sending prayers of healing to Susan Aaron, Jeannie Anderson, Marion Blackman, David Ben Devora, Diane Denenberg, Mark Korn, Ron Cote, Abigail Covet, Spora Fego Batsara, Marty Gelman, Moritz Hapert, Norman V. Maltello, Javi Rabin, Bobby Rosenkranz, and Carol Ware and Caroline Zlotnick. If there are additional names of those you are praying for today, please share them with the community. Brother David. Turn to page 253 for the Misha Barak for the sick. Turn to page 259 for a prayer for the state of Israel.
See. Okay, let's sing together. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Gohalo, Barechet Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'Gohalo, Barechet Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu.
Eternal God, receive our prayers for the peace and security of the state of Israel and all its people. Spread a blessing upon the land and upon all who labor in its interest. Protect Israeli soldiers as they defend our people against missiles and hate. Protect the innocents among the Palestinian people that they may be safe and free from death and injury. Inspire Israel's leaders to both defend our people and follow the ways of righteousness and compassion. Remove from the hearts of our people hatred, fear, malice, strife, and vengeance. We are grateful for the hostages who have been safely returned to the embrace of their families and look forward to the return of all who remain in captivity. We welcome the ceasefire and sincerely yearn for an end to the hostilities and destruction. May the Jewish people scattered throughout the earth stand strong in solidarity with the state of Israel in times of war and peace, and may they be infused with the ancient hope of Zion. May our hope be encouraged by the symbol of Jerusalem as the eternal city of peace. May the state of Israel be a blessing to all its inhabitants and to the Jewish people everywhere. May she be a light to the nations of the world. And together we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Please rise as you're able to for the Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא צמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
That was really good singing, y'all.
That's good. You sound good. Just a reminder that this month we are continuing to collect funds to go towards wildfire relief in the greater Los Angeles area through the Jewish Federation's Wildlife Relief Fund in Los Angeles. Encourage you to give generously, either here in person in the tzedakah box in the foyer or online, lots of different ways to give. Also, just a reminder, as I mentioned at the beginning of the service, we've got a really festive Tu B'Shvat themed oneg right after the service, where you can eat all the different fruits with their skin you can eat and a skin you can't eat and a pit you can eat and a pit you can't eat. Don't eat pits. Seeds you can eat and seeds you can't eat, like a strawberry. Yeah. And should be a great opportunity to enjoy each other's company and the fruits of a lot of folks labor. A big special thank you to Jeremy and Kat and Zoe for helping put this together.
I have an announcement or a couple. So, well, next weekend, our choir is performing in a choral, what do we call it? A choral festival. So like our singers from our Bethlehem choir are joining together with choirs from all over the Bay Area, and we're singing a concert. That concert's going to be a little far away, but I think it'll be worth your while. It's at Temple Isaiah in Lafayette, Walnut Creek in the East Bay. It's at 4 o'clock on Sunday, the 23rd. I hope you'll join us for that. And then the following weekend after that, on Friday night, we're having a very special service here because Dan Nichols is coming to lead our service with us. He is like Dan Nichols. I mean, he's a famous sort of
Jewish singer, songwriter, composer.
Rock star, he's amazing. And it's going to be a special Camp Shabbat. Kids are coming from all over the area. So I want to tell you, so this is not just to tell you about it, but also we're going to ask you to come and dress in white for Shabbat, because that's what we do at camp. Okay, it's a little, we're going to look a little bit like milkmen, but it's okay, because that's what we do. We're going to dress up for Camp Shabbat, dressed in white, and we're going to celebrate Shabbat like we do at camp. So I wanted to bring those two things to your attention. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Cantor. We'll turn now to our prayer of memory on page 294. As I read the name of your loved one or a friend, I invite you to rise in their honor and remain standing. This week, we're in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Joel Felt, Julie Friedberg-Chesson, and Sheila Strasberg. And this Shabbat marks the yahrzeit, the anniversary of death for Debbie Alcabez, Alan Alderman, Jackson Bediak, Daryl Behrman, Joel Bennett, Arkady Berenberg, Gerald Berner, Harold Brook, Sylvia Chesson, Doris Beanstalk Cohen, Laura Cohn, Leonard Daly, Bernard Dehovitz, Kara Elias, Linda Foldetta, Jerome Fox, Rebecca Gelman, Eleanor Gershman, Marietta Gianetti, Letty Lou Haber-Gilbert, Harold Glick, Esther Goldbaum, Arnold Goldbaum, Marjorie Smerling Goldbaum, Rose Rubenstein Gordon, Melvin Grays, Doris Grossberg, Stephen Hallert, Harold Hoppy, Babette Kabak, Ruben Kahanovitz, Annette Kahn, Marcia Kallman, Roberta Kamen, Benedict Katz, Solomon Hozioski, Ida Olbaum Joels Goldberg, Helen Kraus, Alma Lasher, Mary Levy, Betty Light, Isidore Loshbin, Sandra Martyr Maoz, Jacob Merzer, Barbara Mendel, Eva Monastersky, Henry Moose, Hilda Moskovich, Elizabeth Namias, Sally Nissim, Jim Oshry, Naum Pevsner, Esther Pianin, Lucille Petit, Dale Prinstein, Rena Ratner, Nathan Raymer, David Sachs, Samuel Schatz, Harriet Schnorr, Sydney Schwartz, Rose Schwartz, Seymour Seidcher, Ruth Seiler, Judith Shane, Joseph Shatsky, Richard Allen Shatton, Alan Spall, Elaine Schulman, Ganesia Schwartz, Leota Silton, Pearl Sinclair, Harry Springer, Marvy Stark, Sam Strober, Joseph Taub, Sylvia Toder, Lester Wax, Sarah Westerman, Bernice Whitman, Pearl Wolfs, Christian Warosilla, and David Zwarenstein. If you are in the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and share those names. If there's someone who you're remembering tonight, I invite you to rise and share their names at this time. And we rise together as a community of strength and solidarity. We read words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam U'Lamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal Shmei D'Kudashah B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say together, amen. We'll close with Adon Olam, which is on page 321.
And this was Alan Spall's favorite Adon Olam. So this is in his memory. Dad, this one's for you. Adon Olam Asher Malach Hai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai B'terem Kol Yesir Nivra Hai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai Le'et Nasa B'chefso Kol Hai Dai 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 Hai Zay Melech Shemo Nikra Hai Dai 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 Asher Malach Hai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Hai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai Didi Dai Le'et Nasa B'chefso Kol Hai Dai 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 Hai Zay Melech Shemo Nikra Hai Dai 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 Dai. The last stanza. Ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo irai dai 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 Adon olam asher malach hai dai 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 B'terem kol yesir nivra hai dai dai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Join us.